I have to get a job. I've gathered that much. That's all well and good, but it's a bit more complex than that. There are things everyone is trying to get out of this situation, myself included. My parents want me to make enough money from the job to be financially stable, a compassion of comfort. My friends want me to do something I find fulfillment from, a compassion of empathy. And I want to make them all happy, a compassion of self-sacrifice. Everyone wants to see me living out my dreams, myself included. I would upset people if I worked a job I hated. But I can't say the opposite is easy to find. That's not the issue, though. The issue is that my dream doesn't look like what people expect of my success. My parents see me with a wife, kids, and a mortgage. That never felt worthwhile to me. Not that I think it's silly, of course. I understand the allure. But I never felt excited about a family. So I asked myself what does feel worthwhile. And I thought on that for a long time. I'm still thinking about that. Every day I get up and think of what's worth doing, and every night I go to sleep wondering if I did the thing I was supposed to do that day. It's not that my issue is coming from this lack of direction, but from the level of wondering why anyone does much of anything at all. Do my parents seem fulfilled with having a family? I'm unsure. Are my friends who have serious jobs fulfilled? I'm also unsure. Maybe my issue is an issue with being able to read people. But even if I could, why should that matter? We feel things differently anyways. So I'm going my own way. At least I tell myself that. But I haven't gone much of anywhere. I'm trying to do the things I enjoy, but I wouldn't say it's giving me that thing I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is something that resonates with what I really am, not what other people think I am. It comes and goes like a shooting star every so often. A song that hits just the right chord, or a movie that makes me feel both fully lived in and at the same time vacant, striking me like a tuning fork. And for a moment, I resonate with the great procession of all things, and realize how profound it is to be anything at all. But this has not helped me to find a job. Instead, I live on planet Earth, and my escape is only temporary. I sometimes wonder if other aliens solved this problem, or whether it's an inherent structural problem to life. I like to imagine that all aliens would be kind, traveling across the great expanse to find another existence that feels the same hardships you do. I often feel the same way about my fellow man. I care for all human life so dearly. It seems impossible not to. I think this, but then I get face to face with a real person, and all I can think of is that I would prefer them to leave me alone. Maybe aliens feel the same way and hide themselves from us. I don't blame them. What a silly species we are. Still though, sometimes I wonder if maybe that's my calling. Figuring all this stuff out and getting to the bottom of why existence matters much at all. I think it does, but I haven't found a great proof yet. Don't worry though, I'm working on it. It's still not much of a job though. So I've been picking up making music. Well, not really. I simply have instruments. It started with a guitar, one that I borrowed from my sister. Well, not really. It actually started with a different guitar, an acoustic one that I played when I was in elementary school. I took lessons for a little while, but it never really turned into anything. But this year I wanted to start playing electric, so I borrowed my sister's. The main reason is I had a good excuse to learn, since a class I was taking required us to learn a craft. Learning an instrument is the best and worst thing I've ever done. It's a magical experience to overcome what you couldn't do before. but it is also soul-crushing to realize how far below I am from where I want to be. I've kept at it though, just a little bit every few days. Never enough to really improve, but enough to show myself I'm trying. I don't think instruments really suit me. It's just not my thing, I guess. I do wonder about the people that are musicians, though. The people touched by the divine, that make the beautiful music I love. Of course, I'm not denying the life-consuming practice that these people put into their craft, but you can tell some people were born to play. I wonder if I was born to fit a specific role. It would make life much easier, knowing what my thing is. But on the other hand, what if I didn't like the thing I was made to do? Maybe that's the case now, and I'll never discover my knack for tax accounting. Whatever the case, I don't think it's making music. I tried, at the very least. Instead of creating stuff, I seem to be much better at consuming. I enjoy it all. Movies, anime, music, books, plays. If someone's making it, I'll be there. I suppose there are jobs for consuming media, but then I'd have to critique and make opinions on stuff. I just worry that it would sour the taste for enjoying these things, and worst of all, I'd hate to have to fit my opinions to meet certain expectations. Maybe I'd be better on the capturing side of things, be behind the camera, or help people publish their works. It sounds appealing, but it seems like a lot of responsibility. The last thing I'd want to do is ruin someone else's life's work. Maybe I could be on the distribution end of things, like manufacturing the movie discs or the vinyl records. That seems like a good time, although I don't know if I'd make much more than I do now, and besides, something repetitive like that I'll get tired of eventually. It's kind of interesting how you can admire something so much, but not want to be a part of it. I guess that it's okay. I hate to make this whole thing about finding a job, although it does seem to be the main thing happening on planet Earth. People doing jobs, people losing jobs, people looking for jobs. I'm tired of it. Not that I'm an anarchist or a believer that we need to go back to hunter-gatherer times, but I don't know. I guess I wish there was more to this existence than just doing something to generate an imaginary currency. I can totally understand why people turn to religion. There's got to be something more. I'm not religious. I maybe was at one point, but not anymore. I went to church with my family as a kid and got baptized and all that. Told the church lady I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And maybe I really did believe it. It was at that age where you have to accept what other people believe of you. Either way, I doubt God would be too upset with 8-year-old me. The point is that I drifted away from being religious, or at least believing I was. It just didn't seem worthwhile. I was taught good people go to heaven and that bad people might go to hell. Lucky for me, I tried to be a pretty good person, so either I get into heaven without having to do the extra chores on Sunday, or I go to hell for not believing in the right guy. If that's the case, it's a pretty bad system, and I'll accept my punishment with rebellious defiance. Or the third option, of course, which is that there is nothing after death. In any case, it doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference what sort of job I had while I was alive. I'm not too stressed about it, but everyone I know is, worried about office politics or trying to get rich. I understand wanting money. There's stuff I want to buy, of course, books and movies and posters and so forth. But it's not the same as trying to support a family of 4. I guess that's the whole goal. Make money, keep the family happy and healthy, and you'll get your meaning from that. I'm unconvinced. Why should raising kids be more fulfilling than buying Hatsune Miku magic cards? You can do both, of course, is the obvious rebuttal. But kids are pretty expensive, and with that money, the amount of other fun stuff I could buy easily adds up to more than the fulfillment of a kid. And regardless, By having Hatsune Miku magic cards, it makes it pretty difficult to have kids in the first place. Jokes aside, religion is, in general, pretty cool. Some of my favorite people are religious, and I would never try to say they are silly for believing in a higher power. To some extent, I also do, I guess. Just less of an entity and more a certain state of existence we should all strive to be in resonance with. I sound pretty far out whenever I try to explain it, but I just think people ought to live in a way which makes themselves more aligned with what they perceive as progression towards perfection. Anyways, the point is that religion is normally pretty cool, so long as everyone's nice to each other. When are we supposed to know when the space age has begun? Because I'm not convinced it's ever going to be a real thing. Or if it is, then we're already in it. My main gripe is the population issue. When I think of the space age, I imagine self-sustaining, growing populations on far-out worlds. But it's doubtful that our own planet will continue to grow. Developed countries are already seeing population crashes for a number of reasons. Maybe people really do need less fulfillment from children when they can meet those needs through other avenues. My point is that if we have the resources to send people to another planet, why would they have the need to populate? The only exception I see is if we really do ruin this one and are forced off. And to be realistic, the only people forced off would be the rich and powerful, and the rest of us would be stuck here with the ruined world they created. It's not a pretty sight, and certainly not the space age I'm looking forward to. Maybe that is what has me so down lately. As a kid, I used to love all of the scientific discovery going on in the world. But now I don't really care. None of it seems to make the actual existing part of life any better. Sure, cars were great, but now I can't walk to grab groceries without risk of death. Phones were great until they became addiction devices to siphon our money and human spirit. Even life-saving medical breakthroughs are uninteresting. No one can afford it anyways. Except for GLP-1s, I guess. Those are pretty cool. Until they got abused by celebrities and then there was a shortage for the people who really needed them. I don't want to be a big downer on innovation. I just want innovation to serve some greater ideal than making one person more money at the expense of the people who never had a problem until it was created by someone else making money. I want the space age, with all the impractical spaceships and the life that seems to pour out of every corner of the universe. I don't know what the answer is, but I think we need to figure it out before we spread out to the stars. Once it leaves the local ecosystem, it will be much harder to close Pandora's box. That's another thing I think is interesting. When aliens are depicted in media, they always seem to be a collective mind as opposed to humanity. Aliens don't have internal social conflict or businesses or any sort of complex structure to their species. Just a collection of dudes that are all the same as the next. Maybe that's more of an American perspective, where individuality is seen as positive, and the aliens, being the bad guys, represent conformity and blind allegiance to a communist alien government. I don't know. Maybe from the opposite perspective, our unruly, corporate-ruled space expansion seems archaic. Anyways, this isn't about politics. This is about thoughts from planet Earth. You know, despite how many issues I have with the place, Earth is the place I think I belong. My favorite thing is that every time you think you've seen it all, something new happens. There's bad moments, of course, but there's so much good happening. People across the globe making music, telling stories, making art, and there's people failing at all these things. People crying over homework, picking up an instrument for the first time, losing the love of their life. It's all here. This big broth of infinite stories colliding. I walk past it every day. People who live lives as real as mine, and it overwhelms me. I know somewhere out there, someone feels the same way about things I do, and there's also people that feel the opposite, and both are great. I want to be startled awake, be shown something I could never have dreamed of. It's all here. All of it. All the questions and all the answers, all the pain and all the joy, the writhing masses and the chorus of creation. Where else is worth being? I hope the aliens exist. I want to hear their stories, listen to their music, and be shown a new way of dreaming. And I want to give the same back to them. Show them how the silly humans of planet Earth do it. Will they cry like us? Will they laugh with us? Will they be disgusted or sympathetic? Will they tell me what I was meant for and show me the path forward? Or are they as clueless as the rest of us? I want to show them planet Earth. I have so many thoughts I want to tell them. I guess for now, I'll just tell you.